The battlefield at Chasiv Yar once again witnessed the devastation of the Russian occupying forces. In a new confident attack, the enemy force, consisting of 5 motorized troops and 2 MTLB armored vehicles, penetrated the front line with infantry support. However, within a short time, that confidence turned to utter panic. In the air, FPV drone operators from the 24th King Daniel Infantry Brigade and the 18th Slavic Brigade of the Ukrainian National Guard had set up a deadly trap. Every vehicle, every motorcycle, and even every step of the enemy troops were precisely tracked by electronic eyes circling high above Chasiv Yar. The attack began when a drone operator from the 24th King Daniel Brigade launched the first FPV, and the first motorcycle was seen passing through the damaged road amidst the ruins of industrial buildings. Within seconds, the first FPV drone struck its target right in the middle of the convoy, a loud explosion shaking the ground, knocking down the rider and sparking panic among the rest of the Russian forces. One by one, the second, third, and then the 5th motorcycle became the next target, the Ukrainian operator guiding each drone with incredible composure, like a hunter patiently waiting for the perfect moment. There was no room to escape. Every enemy vehicle ended in flames. In the next attack, as 2 armored MTLBs attempted to retreat to rescue the remaining infantry, a second wave of FPV drones was unleashed. With devastating speed and precision, both vehicles were hit directly, disabling the entire crew. Flames and thick black smoke billowed high, marking the end of what the Russians called a new offensive. In the end, all enemy personnel were annihilated, not a single one escaping the Ukrainian aerial pursuit. The fighters of the King Daniel Brigade and the Slavic Brigade returned with a silent victory. No cheers, only the knowledge that they had held Chasiv Yar for another day. The battlefield now lay silent, with 5 motorcycles burning, 2 MTLBs completely destroyed, and no sign of life from the enemy column. Aerial footage from the RAROG recon unit captured the final scene. Smoke billowing over the dirt road, metal debris scattered about, and a black Russian flag trampled in the mud. With flawless cross-brigade coordination, the tactical superiority of the FPV drones once again demonstrated its dominance. The Russian offensive in this sector ended with the same outcome: swift defeat and total loss of combat equipment. A tragic and futile end. Today, in the Pokrovsk direction, there are important updates. Here, Ukrainian forces unleashed the full power of their long-range strike arsenal in a coordinated campaign to dismantle Russia's Pokrovsk offensive before they can reorganize and regroup. Destroying one Russian base after another, as well as troop concentrations and supply routes, they shattered the enemy's buildup, paving the way for Ukrainian infantry to advance. Russia deploys more troops, despite already massive losses, and several pockets of encircled troops in the Dobropilya salient. The Russians are trying to salvage the Pokrovsk disaster in the only way they know how, by deploying even more infantry and making it bigger. To break the final will of the Russian 51st Combined Arms Army, Ukrainian long-range strike units are going to work, combining the efforts of HIMARS, artillery, drones, and aviation to eliminate all reserves the Russians bring into the area. One video shows a Russian motorcycle assault group trying to gather under tree cover near a road, but seconds later, HIMARS fire reduces them to burning wreckage. Another video shows Ukrainian fighter jets dropping 2 high-precision bombs, obliterating a building used both as a command post and a troop assembly area, killing everyone inside. Near Uspanivka, a Su-27 was led by drone reconnaissance and targeted stormtroopers preparing for an attack with JDAM bombs, wiping them out in an instant. Further north in Udachny, another wave of JDAM strikes eliminated 2 Russian groups massing for a push, another proof that Ukrainian aviation is relentlessly hunting Russian buildup sites. The desperate situation has forced Russians to push artillery forward much further in hopes of disrupting Ukrainian logistics and reinforcements coming in. But this overextension has proven catastrophic yet again. South of Pokrovsk, a Ukrainian counter-battery strike destroyed a D-30 howitzer and its ammunition stockpile. 20 kilometers deeper, a BM-27 Uragan MLRS trying to change positions was tracked and obliterated by a Ukrainian drone strike. East of Pokrovsk, drone surveillance caught a truck delivering shells to an artillery position. A HIMARS rocket struck precisely as the ammunition was unloaded to maximize damage, causing a massive secondary detonation that annihilated the crew, the truck, and the artillery system. Russian attempts to rely on air support also backfired south of Pokrovsk when an Mi-8 helicopter tried to deliver supplies to ground units, but was intercepted by Ukrainian FPV drones. One drone slammed into the external fuel tank, engulfing the machine in mid-air. At the same time, a second Ukrainian drone confirmed the crash site, showing the burning wreck and the lack of survivors, with Russians claiming at least some of the crew managed to survive. This marked the first confirmed case of an FPV drone striking a flying Russian helicopter, and it shows how desperate the situation for Russian logistics is becoming. If they are ready to risk expensive helicopters to deliver supplies to the front, Russian logistics routes and attack paths are also systematically dismantled by the Ukrainian army. A MiG-29 strike with an AASM hammer bomb demolished a dam used by the Russians as a direct assault route. The blast destroyed the roadway and water poured across the area, cutting off the southern approach to Myrolyubivka. With one strike, Ukraine not only halted a possible Russian advance, but reshaped the terrain to its defensive advantage, as the area now turns into a marshland river. Another video shows how Ukrainian drones target Russian soldiers forced into assaults on crutches, as survivors and wounded alike are being thrown into battle. This highlights how Russian commanders don't have enough healthy soldiers to send forward, warning signs that the Russian Pokrovsk offensive is in the final moments before reaching its breaking point. Overall, Ukraine's strike campaign shows that Russia has no way out of the Pokrovsk disaster. The hope of Russian commanders to escape the unsuccessful Dobropilya breakthrough attempt by overwhelming Ukrainians with mass assaults and diverting attention is being crushed by Ukraine's well-integrated strike defense network. Every Russian movement, whether by infantry, artillery, or helicopters, is tracked, targeted, and destroyed before it can reach the battlefield effectively, as Pokrovsk's defenders deny Russia the chance to mount any proper offensive.